just about. All righty. Welcome everybody to Come Back to Love Monday morning gathering. I'm so happy to see a nice group here this morning, and shout out to those of you that listen to the YouTube later. It's August 21st, coming to the end of, at least in the northwestern hemisphere, the northwestern, coming to the end of summer. We're already really into fall, which is really interesting, just weather-wise. So I'm definitely feeling the transitional space, which I think I've been talking about for the last week or so. So I'm just going to invite everybody to begin with a nice deep breath. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Some of you are just waking up and landing in your body after traveling that happens while we sleep. So just invite you to have a breath and gently close your eyes, and we'll do some grounding to begin with. So wherever you are, whether you're lying down or standing, sitting up, feel the support beneath you. Whether you can feel it on your back, the bottoms of your feet, your tush, whatever it is, just notice that you are actually being supported by something that at least feels solid. We know that everything is made up of lots of particles, but certainly there are things that feel solid beneath us, thankfully. Because when something feels solid beneath us, it means that we can actually grow and expand out and reach out in order to move through our personal growth journeys. When the ground isn't solid, and that happens sometimes in our lives for sure, it's much more difficult. And we've all been through times like that for sure, where the daily journey is just, where can I put my 2 feet? How can I feel some sense of security? Whether it's being displaced from your home, even if you chose it, to relationships ending, to grief and loss, whatever the trauma has been, those are the times when we're feeling like we can't really find our ground. And so whether you're in that space or you're not in that space right now, no right, wrong, no good or bad, because we all have these, ups and downs and turns arounds and changes in our lives. But wherever you are in this moment, just notice that you can feel something beneath you. Whether you're sitting, like I said, and leaning back on something, or if you're standing, your 2 feet feel solid on the ground. And see if you can embrace that sense of ground a little more by acknowledging it. We walk every day on the earth, but we don't think about it. We just hop out of bed, start our day, go to brush our teeth, whatever it is you do first, sit down on the meditation cushion, if that's your practice. But when do we acknowledge that actually as we're walking around the house even, or into town, that we are on solid, secure ground that is supporting us? And the thing is that as soon as we acknowledge the support that we're receiving that we weren't noticing before, as soon as we acknowledge it, it strengthens and we're able to receive it even more than we were in, like, from just the moment before the thought, before the acknowledgement. So take a moment to first acknowledge the way that you're right now, very tangibly, very physically, noticeably feeling supported by your physical environment. And then ask yourself a question. How am I, or what? Let's take the how out of it. Let's say, in what ways am I being supported in my life right now? What requires my acknowledgement that I have either taken for granted or just moved past it quickly enough that I didn't have a chance to acknowledge it? Which is either one of those can certainly be true. We tend to move so quickly from thing to thing to thing that we don't, I mean, myself included, often it's like to pause and recognize and acknowledge, oh, look at that. You know, I was just supported in that way. I personally have had so many, I don't even want to say miraculous anymore because they're not. They're part of my regular experiences. So many opportunities to say, oh my goodness, like, wow, look how the universe supported me in that. Big things, small things. I mean, a simple example was on Friday. I was thinking, oh, I need to go pick up some flowers for the intimate puja circle I'm leading in the evening. When am I going to do that? And I was sort of thinking about it. And literally a moment later, somebody messaged me and said, hey, I just got these flowers as a gift for my anniversary. Can I bring them to the puja and put them in the center of the circle? I was like, oh my goodness, yes, thank you. Like, thank you, universe, for thinking of me in that moment, hearing my thought, and providing the support that I required. And taking that moment to really acknowledge the support that's provided enables more to come. Like I said, it strengthens internally because it deepens our capacity to receive what we were just gifted with, but it also strengthens the information we're providing for the universe, for consciousness to say, oh, she appreciated this. Well, I'm going to give her more and more and more. And so the question is, in what ways you're going to ask yourself, have I been receiving support that I have not yet acknowledged? There's so many ways, to be honest. I mean, we're so privileged here, for those of us in the US and other, obviously, first world countries. There's a gazillion ways that we're supported. So you really can take this anywhere. But I'm curious what comes up when you ask that question. And then there's another question, sort of a follow-up, which would be, what would it take to receive support around X, fill in the blank? So maybe there's a project you're working on, or you're open to a new relationship or dating again, or something health related or something money related. Those tend to be the big topics. What would it take to receive support for X? What would it take is a great question, because you get information. And when you get information, you can actually do something with that information. If you don't have it, not much you can do. So what would it take? And then you might hear like an action step or a way to be or some way to think about something. Or maybe sometimes you just hear like, relax, relax and receive. Like, there isn't anything you need to do. There often isn't. That's a great question to put out. So as you let these questions sort of float in your orbit. I invite you to expand your energy field so that you can receive even more from the questions and from the acknowledgement of how you're being supported right now. So expand your energy field in all directions. Most of you have been doing this with me and know immediately, like, your fields just like kick in. You can really feel a lot of expansion behind you today. And that's interesting because that's usually like closer in. So today, everything feels very expansive. So expand your energy field all around the globe, out into the universe. And just know that you're an infinite being that can receive infinite possibilities. And every single thing, or literally every single thing, is available. So with that, I invite you to take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And again, another one. Gently open your eyes if you're live here on Zoom. And I bid you farewell on YouTube Live. And I'll see you, those listening to the recording, I will see you next week.